as we look back to the momentous event of just a few days ago, we note that our very sense of who we are has undergone a seismic shift. The tremendous upset, the come from behind victory against all odds, stunned the world. The ferocity of the contest has left us drained. By this extraordinary outcome, America has turned a page in its history. Of course, I am speaking about the Chicago Cubs. What did you think? During the games of the Fall Classic, my family and I engaged in rituals to ensure a successful outcome. We wore the same hats, sat in the same places, held hands, stood up at various times. Did we really think this behavior would guarantee a Cubs win? Of course we did. When we are unsure about how things will turn out, we seek a way to control them. And many believe in supernatural causality. Athletes wear lucky socks and eat lucky foods. Craig Biggio never cleaned his batting helmet. Turk Wendell brushed his teeth between every inning. And Wade Boggs, the 12-time All-Star, attributed much of his achievement to his daily routine, which included eating chicken before every game, invariably taking batting practice at 5:17 p.m. Though he was not Jewish, he would draw the word Chai in the batter's box. An interviewer asked Boggs if drawing Chai helped, and he answered yes, along with the other 85 superstitions. Ellen Langer of Yale University showed that people often overestimate their control of situations. She allowed members of one group to pick their own lottery ticket, while she selected the ticket for the other group. Later, participants were given the opportunity to exchange their ticket for one in a lottery with more favorable odds. Despite the fact that exchanging the ticket improved their chances of winning, those who had selected their own ticket chose not to exchange it. They seemed to think that choosing their own ticket increased their odds of winning, as if it gave them some control over the outcome of the lottery. You see, superstition is a way to defy life's unpredictability and uncertainty, to confront contingency and risk with a higher degree of confidence. Control has been called the foremost human addiction. But no matter how hard we try to control events, no matter how tightly we seek to grip our reality, it is simply not for us to predict, and certainly not for us to determine the script of this uncertain world. The drive to control leads to the number one cause of all problems: frustration. There are times when we exclaim, "I've lost control of my life." It is not true. We do not lose control of our lives. What we lose is the misconception that we were ever in control of our lives in the first place. When we have done all we can, we have to take comfort in the fact that God is in charge. That is why we read in Pirkei Avot, every person has his moment, and everything has its place. Elevators feature a button marked "Closed Doors." Upon entering, I press that button, sometimes several times, and with mounting irritation. But it seems that the elevator has a will of its own, and it refuses to yield to my staccato tapping. The door close feature faded into obsolescence after the enactment of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990. But that knowledge does not stop me from my relentless percussion. And when I'm in New York, I read the direction on the crosswalk signal. The instruction is simple: to cross the street, push the button, and wait for the walk signal. But New York City deactivated those pedestrian buttons long ago with the emergence of computer-controlled traffic signals. They exist today only as a mechanical placebo. But I am not deterred by this awareness, and push at least 2 or 3 times. And that is because even though I cannot control the mechanism, even perceived control has its benefits. When pushing those buttons, I learn anew that being human means living within certain limitations. Some things will close for us and some things will not close for us, no matter how hard we jab the button. Our lack of control extends to our inability to live forever, to know everything there is to know, and to prevent most of what happens to us. That is the human condition. Those of a certain age will remember, long ago, that when a malfunction in transmission would disrupt a TV show, an announcement was made: "Our program has been temporarily interrupted due to circumstances beyond our control." That is life. Much of it occurs due to circumstances beyond our control. We cannot escape Toldot the Gilgulim, the twists and turns of fate, even in an elevator. As it is written in the book of Proverbs, many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. In the year 1875, W.E. Henley wrote the poem Invictus, which concludes, "It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." Well, whatever the merits of that poem, that final sentiment flies in the face of the Jewish understanding of our capabilities. This poem has gone through a renaissance in our times, probably because it reflects our society's emphasis on self-determination. Like Henley a century or more ago, so many people today actually believe that they are in control of their own lives and destinies. We hear it all the time in our cultural cliches. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. Really? Where there's a will, there's a way. Is that right? Contrary to our belief that we are masters of our fate and captains of our souls, it is God who is sovereign. As the creator of all, he exercises his absolute authority. He is in control of everything. He's got the whole world
in his hands.
In his hands. And that is why 100 times a day or so, I say in Yirtzeh Hashem, God willing, because I know that everything I plan is contingent upon his looking down and endorsing what I propose. My friends, there have been occasions when I entered an elevator thinking it was about to go up, when in fact it was headed down. And times I thought I would descend to a lower floor, when in fact I ascended. And there was nothing I could do but ride it out. We can push buttons insistently, but what God insists will happen is what will happen. We need to look to him and acknowledge his will. So in all of our attempts to exercise mastery, we have to keep our illusion of control under control. Amen.
Amen.